Good evening and welcome back to Advocacy for Mushroom Vape, or the vaping of mushroom. Today's talk is going to be on Agarikon. It's 1/6 of my mushroom, 6-mushroom blend. Agarikon, Ancient Mushroom for Modern Medicine by Paul Stamets. This is 2017. It's okay, time is okay. I am convinced Agarikon and other polypore mushrooms hold yet and undiscovered medicines of incalculable value. If Agarikon's antivirals prove to be effective in clinical trials, I do not think it's an exaggeration to say we should save our old growth forests as a matter of national defense. And I believe the old growth forest of Larch in Europe had a lot of these, and during the Industrial Revolution, we have taken it out. We as in the people, not we as in me. I wasn't there. Okay, so he's a founder of Fungi Perfect, advisor, program of integrative medicine at the University of Arizona Medical School in Tucson. September 15, 2012, updated December 6, 2017. Dun, dun, dun. This image has been expired. Okay, the majority of modern medicines originate in nature. Although some mushrooms have been used in therapies for thousands of years, we are still discovering new potential medicines hidden within them. For many years, I have sought and studied Agarikon, an unusual mushroom native to old-growth conifer forests of North America and Europe, a big wood conch, a perennial polypore. Agarikon survives for many years and emits spores through whitish pores from its underside each summer. See photo below. This beehive-shaped mushroom may be the longest living mushroom in the world, growing in the temperate conifer forests of Northern California, Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia. The species also survives precariously on old-growth large trees in the Slovenian Alps, near the borders of Italy and Austria. Agarikon has two commonly used scientific names. Larsiphlomes officinalis prefers with assessments found on large trees, the large species, and Fomitophosis officinalis, which applies to those hosted by Douglas fir, spruce, and hemlock. I imagine that's why it's hard to find. That's the photo below. Dusty Yao holding a 40-year-old Agarikon polypore mushroom. 40 years. Wow. Mycologists at Fungi Perfecti maintain a culture library of 44 strains of this rare mushroom and have been collected around the world over the past 20 years. 11 of these strains were genetically sequenced and contributed to the genetic fingerprint of Fomitophosis officinalis to GenBank. That's what I have here. I have Scott Baker, a tree canopy expert, climbs a 700-year-old Douglas fir tree sporting a huge Agarikon. It's probably 70 plus years in age. Wow. So they didn't know at the time, I imagine. The Greek physician Dioscorides described Agarikon as elixirium ad longanum vitam, the elixir of long life, in 65 AD. And materia medica. Think about that. Well, it's almost 2065 now. Well, 2065, I'll be 98 years old. So that's almost 2,000 years ago. essentially the first known herbal medicine or herbal medical manual that listed remedies for fighting diseases. Historically, Agarikon has also been known as the quinine conch for its strong bitter taste, but should not be confused with true quinine, which is chemically different. In ancient Greece, Agarikon was recommended for treating respiratory illness, night sweats, and consumption, later termed tuberculosis. But think about this, respiratory illnesses. And 1/6 of my concoction has Agarikon in it. So my point of choosing these 6 mushrooms is as far as the respiratory pulmonary system, the exchange of oxygen into our bloodstream, and the issues that are involving in that this benefit from. Matter of interest, working with the Institute for Tuberculosis Research at the University of Illinois at Chicago, we meaning them, they. How about that pronoun? We, not me, I hadn't been any part of it. The Institute director, Dr. Scott Franz Blau, and his graduate student, Changhua Hein, identified 2 novel coumarins unique to Agarikon showing anti-tubercular activity. Now, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm an American. These purified compounds are about 1 or 2 orders of magnitude away from terms of potency to be considered as drugs. However, their chemical structures may be altered to confer greater biological effects. This effort may transfer them to a potential means to counter the epidemic of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis that is sweeping the planet. Advocacy for Vape. That's my point. Agarikon is not only a strong anti-inflammatory, antibacterial agent. Now I keep saying Agarikon, so please give me that little bit of leash. It's not only a strong anti-inflammatory and antibacterial agent, its extracts have also demonstrated antiviral properties. In the wake of September 11 attack, our team submitted more than 500 samples of diverse mushroom extracts to the BioShield Biodefense Program, administered cooperatively by the National Institute of Health and U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases. After many panels of tests, the species that stood out was Agarikon. Of the 11 strains of Agarikon from North America that were tested, a few showed exceptionally strong activity against viruses, including pox, swine, and bird, H1N1, H5N1, and herpes, HSV1, HSV2 viruses. In several sets of tests, dilutions of our natural ethanol extracts against the flu viruses exceeded the potency of the positive drug control, ribavirin, against flu viruses by a factor of 10 or more. More recently, a team of Russian researchers confirmed the strong antiviral activity of Agarikon against the H5N1 flu virus and found that Agarikon is comparatively non-toxic to human cells. This is 2012, mind you, and updated 2017. My point is that, what's his name, Paul Stamets? Let me see if we can find videos. Can we do that? All right, so we'll go back up. Okay, it was important that I did that. So I'm going to go up here, X this out, clear that, then put Paul Stamets. Look at that. Dun, dun, dun. And a P did it. A P did it. Videos. 18 minutes. Do we have 18 minutes? There's a few minutes. The TED Talk 2008. 3, 2, 1.
I love a challenge, and saving the Earth is probably a good one. We all know the Earth is in trouble. We have now entered into 6X, the sixth major extinction on this planet. I often wondered if there was a united organization of organisms, otherwise known as uh-oh, and every organism had a right to vote. Will we be voted on the planet or off the planet? I think that vote is occurring right now. I want to present to you a suite of 6 mycological solutions using fungi, and these solutions are based on mycelium. The mycelium infuses all landscapes, it holds soils together, it's extremely tenacious, it holds up to 30,000 times its mass. They're the grand molecular disassemblers of nature, the soil magicians. They generate the humus soils across the land masses of Earth. We have now discovered that there is a multi-directional transfer of nutrients between plants mitigated by the mycelium. Very large, showing how much nutrition that they could obtain. But something else happened, which is an epiphany in my life. They sporulated, the spores attract insects, the insects laid eggs, eggs became larvae, birds then came bringing in seeds, and our pile became an oasis of life. Whereas the other 3 piles were dead, dark, and stinky, and the PAHs, the aromatic hydrocarbons,
all right, let me give you background on that particular moment.
200 in 8 weeks.
3 groups of people went to get rid of garbage. And he was one group,
These are
engineers,
species,
and there's other
vanguard
people.
species
But
that
anyway,
open the door for biological,
his
for other
got rid
biological
of the
communities.
trash and the
So I
ocean.
invented burlap sacks, bunker spawn, and putting the mycelium, using storm-blown debris. You can take these burlap sacks and put them downstream from a farm that's producing E. coli or other waste, or a factory with chemical toxins, and it leads to habitat restoration. So we set up at this site in Mason County, Washington, and we've seen a dramatic decrease in the amount of coliforms. And I'll show you a graph here. This is a logarithmic scale, 10 to the 8th power. There's more than 100 million colonies per gram, and 10 to the 3rd power is around 1,000. In 48 hours to 72 hours, these three mushroom species, they will have storms every year. So this one mushroom in particular has drawn our interest over time. This is my wife Dusty, with a mushroom called Fomitopsis officinalis, Agarikon. Is a mushroom exclusive to the old growth forest. The Dioscorides first described in 65 AD as a treatment against consumption. This mushroom grows in Washington State, Oregon, Northern California, British Columbia, now thought to be extinct in Europe. May not seem that large. Let's get closer. This is an extremely rare fungus. Our team, and we have a team
I had
of
a section
experts that
about
go
as big
out,
as his
we got
hand.
20
I
times
found
the old growth
online
forest
for
last year.
$287.
We found one sample to be able to get into the culture. Preserving the genome of these fungi in the old growth forest, I think, is absolutely critical for human health. I've been involved with the U.S. Defense Department BioShield program. We submitted over 300 samples of mushrooms that were boiled in hot water and mycelium, harvesting these extracellular metabolites. And a few years ago, we received these results. We have 3 different strains of Agarikon mushrooms that were highly active against pox viruses. Dr. Earl Kern, who's a smallpox expert of the U.S. Defense Department, states that any compounds that have a selectivity index of 2 or more are active, 10 or greater are considered to be very active.
I'm just saying.
Microdose strains were in the highly active range. There's a vetted press release that you can read that's vetted by DOD. If you Google Stamets and smallpox, or you can go to npr.org and listen to a live interview. So, encouraged by this, naturally we went to flu viruses. And so for the first time, I'm showing this. We have 3 different strains of Agarikon mushrooms, highly active against flu viruses, Here's the selectivity index numbers. Against pox, you saw 10s and 20s. Now, against flu viruses, compared to the ribavirin controls, we are having extraordinarily high activity. And we're using a natural extract within the same dosage window as a pure pharmaceutical. We tried against flu A viruses, H1N1, H3N2, as well as flu B viruses. So then we tried a blend, and then a blend combination. We tried it against H5N1.
I have
and we got
6
greater than
blends.
1,000 selectivity index. I then think that we can make the argument that we should save the old growth forest as a matter of national defense.
All right, so you get the hint. This is the guy. I would love to have him tell you that this is an excellent thing. Advocacy for mushroom vape. I would love to meet him. So now he pronounced it correctly, I pronounced it incorrectly. So let's have fun. Okay, so what I was going to do from here is clear this, and let's go to Agarikon, and let's see what new research is. NIH. Oh, let's see benefits. BENE. Benefits. Space. NI. All right. I'm going to go to antimicrobial properties of Fomitis officinalis, Fomitopsis officinalis. Anti-tumor, immunomodulatory, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. All right, so let's put lung. Let's add lung to this. Let's add lung to this. Where do you get lung? Oh. All right, hold on. Can medicinal mushrooms have prophylactic or treatment of severe lung inflammation? Must include Agarikon. Let's go here. Here we go. Look at this. Dun, dun, dun. Go here just for a second. Hello. Look at you. Okay. Medicinal potential mycelium in fruiting bodies of an arboreal mushroom, Pomatoposis officinalis, in therapy of lifestyle diseases. All right, so lifestyle diseases. That's smoking. I know I heard it, and I should have been able to pronounce it, but I forgot already. Okay, so this is a 55-page article, but I want to look for lung, is what I want to do, but that's okay. We can read this. The abstract says, Pomatoposis officinalis is a medicinal mushroom used in traditional European 18th to 19th century folk medicine. Fruiting bodies of this Agarikon were collected from natural environment. I would never be able to pronounce that. With the consent of General Director for Environmental Protection in Warsaw. I guess it sounds like Poland. Let me get pictures. Alright, let's just go back. Phylogenetic tree of Promotus, right? Evolutionary history, sequencing. Look at that. Alright, so anyway. Therapy of life. This is therapy. Tryptophan, melatonin, methyltryptophan. Okay, so I'm going here next. Okay, this is what we're getting out of it. Everything that we looked at so far, but I want to go to one. Here we go. Here, importantly, a high level of 5-hydroxytryptophan in vitro and in vitro mycelium cultures was recorded for the first time. The tested mushroom extract also showed antioxidant and anti-proliferative effects on the A549 lung cancer cell line. So far, we're on mushroom number what? This is the fourth one. I have 2 more to go. And already everybody has something to do with the 8th business, cancer. So how important I got this bag, Pomatoposis officinalis, the quinine conch, is an arboreal mushroom species belonging to the Pomatopotaceae family and polypore order. Given the rarity of its occurrence, it has been under strict species protection since 1983, and is also placed on the IUCN Red List of threatened species as a species at risk of extinction, included in a list of 33 endangered species in Europe. How interesting the species is, right? We listened to his talk on it, but I'm going to go and cherry pick. So remember, I told you in the beginning, large trees were exploited for their wood, resin, and tan bark. I said exploited for their wood. Alright, but it's okay. Researchers considered Agarikon as one of the medical mushroom species that was most commonly used in traditional European medicine. The Agarikon was thought to be a unique panacea, which was effective in treatment of numerous ailments such as excessive sweating, dizziness, rheumatism, respiratory, digestive, and respiratory diseases, cancer, hemorrhoids, and dysuria. How much fun is that? In the second half of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, used to suppress night sweat in the course of several diseases, particularly in patients with tuberculosis. And it's then progressively replaced with Agarikon, isolated from the mushroom itself. So I'm extracting from both ethanol extracting and hot water extracting. Well, this is already hot water extracted, so I just mix it with glycerin, which is also an extraction process, mind you, glycerin extraction, and then I ethanol extract what's left over. So the process is like this. I know you saw the video, so I really had to explain it to you, but we move on. Here again, polysaccharides and terpenoids in its fruiting body. There's still no extensive analysis of biologically active compounds in both its mycelium and fruiting bodies. We're going to cherry pick, look for anything that says lung. Here we go. Antioxidant properties of extracts obtained from species were determined using the DPPH method. The present study also aimed to investigate the anti-proliferative activity of mycelium extracts and F. officinalis sporocarps against the A549 lung cancer cell line, the DU145 prostate cancer cell line, and A375 melanoma cell line. Okay, so again, they refer to mycelium because this is rare. You're not going to get too many fruiting body bags. So you're looking for mycelium extracts, and hopefully, well, I believe that Paul doesn't involve himself in rice growing, because I'm telling you, mycelium rice extract is nasty. It tastes like burned rice. In this. So we have to be careful on what the substrate is that they're using. And it's just, you know, we're just smoking it. We're vaping it. They're using the fluorogenic substrate, whatever that is. That's why I want to make sure that you get the fruiting bodies. At least the fruiting bodies doesn't have a bad taste. I'm talking about nasty. I'm talking about rice, burned rice. Nobody likes burned rice. Okay, so 517.99 milligrams of 100 grams was found in the mycelium extract of 5-hydroxytryptophan, which is what is going to beat up on the lung cancer cells. I'm telling you. I know I'm not reading as much, I'm not talking as much. But I'm excited. Figure 4. Figure 2. Figure 3, figure 4. Okay, so he says An example of a chromatogram of the RP-HPLC separation of indole compounds from Agarikon mycelial cultures and fruiting bodies is shown in figure 4. Alright, anyway. I know this is really dry for me, but they found it. They found what we're looking for, and if they found it, I have it. The presence of 2 of the 21 phenolic compound standards analyzed in the present study was confirmed. Catechin, gallic acid. Additionally, an exogenous amino acid, phenolphthalein, was identified extract from in vitro officinalis cultures. The fruiting body, hydroxybenzoic acid, was detected. What I'm saying is, so far so good. Anybody can vape this 6 mushroom blend. This is not like it's a drug. Well, it is a drug, but it's not like it's a drug to get you high. It's a drug to get you healthy. She's telling me I have to go. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. Have a beautiful day. This is the Advocacy for Mushroom Vape.